Special thanks to Izox for allowing this story to be shared. Check the description for their details, and now on to the story. Humans and their isolationism have been a constant in galactic relations for as long as records existed. Ever since the Karth Empire, the oldest galactic nation, had made contact with the humans, the borders of human space had stayed the same. Their technology was still enigmatic and far beyond comprehension, and the amount of information concerning the human species was still close to zero. The Karth had attempted to send an ambassador shortly after first contact, but while his ship traveled towards human space, he had received a message. Do not enter human space. Turn around now. The ambassador, steadfast in his commitment, ordered to press on. His ship vanished the second he entered human space, never to be seen again. The Karth reacted with all-out war, assembling the largest war fleet up to that point, consisting of over 2,000 ships. When they approached enemy space, they once again got a message from the humans. Your war fleet has no chance of winning. Return back peacefully and prevent the great loss of live you're about to face. The order was given to proceed, and the fleet vanished. 1 month later, a massive triangular pyramid entered the orbit of Karthina, homeworld of the Karth. Multiple drop pods were released and impacted Karthina. Inside of them was everything left of the Warfleet, 1264 servicemen. They reported that they had stumbled on one human ship that had destroyed the entire fleet with weapons of unimaginable power. Then they had been captured by shape-shifting machines, held in cells for the entire time, and had been forced into the drop pods. Any attempts at reverse engineering human technology or materials failed, as the drop pods were made entirely from scraps of the Warfleet, and any attempts at spectroscopy on the human ship returned indecipherable data. The Karth had learned the lesson to never reach out to the humans, and did their best to give this lesson to galactic newcomers for over 2,000 years. Some, like the Drex, tried their luck and attempted to reach humanity with other offers, like trade or technological exchange, but they quickly learned their lessons after several lost ships. With the mystery surrounding them and no information apart from the 2,000-year-old report by the remnants of the Karth fleet, there were many myths and speculations about the humans by everyone. From eldritch gods to machine hive mind, no theory was too wild, no assumption prove or disprovable. There was just one thing everybody knew, and every child learned: stay out of human space. The NSS Flying Feather was a Standard Cylon-class corvette in service of the Nell Navy and had been ordered to evacuate civilians from Priu. Their mission had gone to plan up to the point where they left Priu and were attacked by 4 Limian cruisers. Now, the reactor was heavily damaged, to the point where everything but propulsion, artificial gravity, and life support had to be shut down, and they had been forced to make a jump at random in order to escape. Captain, our navigation system is malfunctioning. Malfunctioning how? It can't interpret the data, where somewhere so far of normal routes that the constellation-based navigation isn't working. Sir, the Limian cruisers have tracked us. They're jumping into the system. Give the engines full power. Yes, sir. The entire 12-man bridge crew had been on full alert for 15 hours now, and we're increasingly tired. Navigation has picked up something. We're inside human space. May Hal help us. 2 of the engines have been hit. A massive triangular black pyramid materialized in the flight path of the Flying Feather. A beam shot from the surface of the pyramid and enveloped the Flying Feather in a bubble. Captain, we're not moving anymore. You have intruded, a voice from everywhere shouted in perfect Helan. Get comms back up, I want to answer them. Are you sure this is a good idea, Captain? The comms officer asked. Do it. Comms are up. Human vessel, this is Captain Piermat Hilbin of the NSS Flying Feather. We're sorry for entering human space, but we have been attacked by the Limians during our evacuation mission, and we're forced to make a jump at random. I only ask you to give us permission to leave again, and to prevent the Limians from destroying our vessel. The captain paused and waited for an answer. The Limians have been trapped in bubbles as well. Prepare to be boarded, the voice said. They're pulling us inside. Good, Captain Pierce said. Good? They're going to kill us all, his first officer said. Maybe they will help. Do you believe the bargaining helped us? The humans have killed everyone who entered, from soliders to merchants. They all likely begged for their lives, too. Did it help any of them? How about the Karth that returned? The captain said. Do you actually believe that report to be true? It's obvious that it's just propaganda. No one ever returns from human space. But they reported the right ship shape, and it's one that only machines would use. They have completely pulled us inside their hangar, the navigation officer reported. The outside atmosphere is a perfect replica of Nylon's atmosphere, the sensor officer added. Open the hatches, now we will see. So, you are going to get us all killed, the first officer resigned. To everyone, we are being boarded by humans. Please do not panic and offer no resistance. We do not want to make anything worse. A large being entered through one of the open hatches. It was unlike anything anyone on board had ever seen, with 2 legs, only 2 arms, and a massive head on top of its body. Its skin was made entirely from some sort of metal, yet there were no joints or even knits visible. Instead, its outer layer behaved almost like real skin as it moved into the ship and looked around with its 2 frontally mounted sensors. The ship had been packed to the brim with refugees from Priu. Every space except for the bridge was full. Almost every square centimeter of surface was occupied by one. Mothers comforting their small children, older ones looking anxiously, adults doing their best not to annoy each other. It registered all of these things, looking around, moving towards the bridge. Captain Piermet Hilben looked at the being as it entered the bridge. He was anxiously waiting on information as to what would happen. Greetings. My name is Franz Fischer, the pilot and captain of the ship, and I decided to verify your words. I am happy to say that you have not lied. I assume that you are the captain of the ship. Yes, I am. I would be very happy if you could tell me how you are going to proceed. I will question the Limians on their view. After this, the assembly will convene to craft a plan. I will inform you when a decision has been made. The being stopped moving, and its visual sensors were closed with a lid. Then it kept standing there, unmoving, unaffected by its environment. 5 minutes later, its eyes opened again. The assembly has come to a decision. 30 minutes later, the defense of Priu was not going well. Nar Gelran Himeru, governor of Priu, was standing in a bunker with constant vibrations from the orbital bombardment shaking the table in front of him. The planet had been completely cut off from supplies, and hope of breaking the Limian orbital superiority was non-existent. Limian transporters had already landed, and the Neel-armed forces were desperately defending the population. He had already received reports of Limian troops massacring the civilian population. He maybe had 2 to 4 days left, then the entire planet would be dead. Sir, the radar station reports hundreds of unknown objects have entered orbit. What? What kind of objects? Tetrahedral shaped and about 6 kilometers long. Who creates these kinds of ships? Some speculate it may be the humans, sir. Hal help us. If this is true, then we are all dead. Fel Melbourne Deer was lying on the ground, her wings broken and her right leg too injured to get up. She had been injured by the orbital bombardment, the only survivor of her family with both her husband and her daughter killed. There were Limians coming towards her, readying their weapons to kill her. This would be her final moment, being killed on her home planet while the orbital bombardment fell around her. Then it stopped. The Limians looked into the sky, and while they were small, the reflections of the triangles were clearly visible. Before they could focus on her again, a large ball of a gray metallic substance appeared behind them and began flowing like a liquid. It approached fast and with sheer, unstoppable power, like a tsunami. The Limian soldiers tried to run away, but were all completely enveloped by it. Thel closed her eyes in anticipation of her death. She didn't die, and when she opened her eyes again, she saw herself in a bubble of air, the metal flowing around the bubble as if the air was an immovable solid. Despite there being no holes or other sources of light, she could see clearly. She saw an appendage with 5 fingers extending from the metal slowly, inching closer towards her. She moved a few centimeters away, and the appendage stopped. When she was still, the appendage began moving again, this time even slower, and touched her right leg with a single finger. A thin layer of the liquid began enveloping her leg, and she didn't feel pain from it anymore. The layer moved towards her wings, revealing a completely healed, unscarred leg. As she tested her leg and stood up, the bubble made more space for her. Her wings began healing, and the appendage moved towards them and touched, removing the thin layer from the wings and revealing completely healed ones. Then the tsunami subsided, revealing a completely different environment. The entire village had been rebuilt, exactly the way it used to be. No signs of destruction were visible. All mushrooms were standing where they used to stand, how they used to stand. Even more astonishingly, all villagers where were they stood before the attack. Even those that she had seen dead were alive. She flew towards her house. Swirling through the opening, she entered the living room and found her husband sitting at the table next to her daughter. "Hello, honey. How was your day?" You were dead. I just remember hearing rumbling in the distance, and then this gray liquid was all around me, and now it's gone. The Limian's orbital bombed our house. You and Silo were dead. Whatever this thing was, it brought you back from the dead. Back from the dead? But I don't remember dying. Let's just... She fell silent and hugged him. Whatever this was, she was internally thankful. Most of the passengers of the Flying Feather had left the ship and were currently sighting in the hangar. The open window into space was oriented towards the planet. Everyone had a perfect sight onto the planet's surface. The view was not pretty. There were patches of burned forests and fields everywhere, and the atmosphere was full of clouds of smoke. In the right side of the window, a few small dots marked the Limian fleet. Then, they saw a massive beam being shot from the ship they were on, headed towards the Limian fleet. The beam created a massive yellow bubble around the fleet, and the orbital bombardment stopped. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then the planet's surface changed, its color to silver, and the Limian ships exploded inside the bubble. The bubble then compressed, leaving a massive ball of debris that was sucked up by another human ship. The surface of Priu changed back to its original green color, but there was no destruction visible. The entire original surface had been rebuilt. Captain Piermat Hilbin noticed a human approaching, but this time it looked like a being made of flesh, with its exposed pinkish, aged skin, white fur on top of his head, and a remarkably interesting face. Its eyes were made from white eyeballs, a pitch-black pupil, and a blue to brown colored ring in between the two. It wore white clothes that covered its entire body neck down, except for its hands. It's quite a sight, isn't it? I believe we have not yet met. I am Captain Piermat Hilbin of the Flying Feather. I already know who you are, Captain. As for me, my name is Katrina Starawa, and I have been chosen to represent humanity as a whole. Okay, so what are you, and how did you get on this ship? I am a representation of who we really are. My body looks exactly the way I looked before I ascended, and only my mind entered this ship through communication. My body is made from the same material as Franz. If you are machines, then why are you helping us? When I was young, humanity was bound to its home planet. We fought ourselves over senseless issues and caused suffering to other humans. Yet there were many that did their best to ease or stop suffering, then the means to ascend were invented, and we became immortal and much more intelligent. Yet we made one vow, to never change our emotions that make us human. We may be machines, yet we were all born as humans, made from flesh. We are all born with most of the emotions you have, including compassion and the desire to help others, and we keep them when we ascend. I may be older than your entire civilization, yet I still have them. And unlike all other species, the compassion of humans extends beyond the boundary of our species. But why? All the other times others tried to reach out, you killed them, yet you helped us. All the other times we were contacted because of greed. You were the first ones to come to us, not because of greed, but because you needed our help, and we gave you it. What is going to happen to the Limians? We will give them a second chance. We're going to drop them on their home planet. What if they try again? If they try again, we will be ready. Ambassador Katrina spoke with confidence. I want to ask you something, she said. What do you want? Tell the galaxy that they should not enter human territory. We will keep everyone who dares to enter. But teach them this one lesson. If they ever are in desperate need, they can always ask for our help, and we will answer.